And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault. It is Adrian Chenault. And it is the one and only Robert Hollis. We're coming off of our biggest, best show ever, and we had to up it. We had to do better this week. So we searched high and low, and we turned down Robert Kiyosaki. We turned down them all. And we said, the man that has to do this show this week is Robert Hollis, because this guy has been around as long as me. He has been as unlikely as me to be successful. But one small problem, they forgot to tell us that. And so Robert's been running around in a pair of short shorts and a Hawaiian shirt for about 30 years, just like me, the Hot Mess Express. And guess what? We are a couple of guys done well in spite of it all. And I am so happy to have you on the show, Robert. How are you doing, man?
I am blessed and highly favored and deeply loved, Tom. Sometimes I think that maybe your and my success is we're okay with not being that smart. You know what I mean? I see someone that's very successful that's made more money in a month than I've made in a year, and he goes, "This is what you should do." And my response was just, "Okay."
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what I'm supposed to do.
It's like,
it's
how these other people come up with a million different ways to create the wheel, and I'm just like, hey, I'm okay with just doing the basics.
Well, what I love about you is you have been, and it is a rarity that somebody gets to the top of more than one of these companies in their career. And for you, you are bigger than your companies every time. I mean, it does not phase you, because you know that if they do decide to turn out the lights or do something else, that you've got the skill sets to be able to build anywhere, and you've got an army that is going to follow you because you haven't milked them and fed off of them. Yes. You've served them and made them as successful as you. And another thing I love, go ahead.
I've had people that are still in my inner circle for over 39 years.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
and that's the shirt that I'm wearing. Adrian, I'm going to try to get up a little higher. That says belong, love, trust, safe. And what that means is if people, I'm taking off this jacket, if people know that they belong in your tribe, if they know that Robert Hollis loves them, if they know they can trust Robert Hollis and they're safe, it doesn't matter what the hell's going to go wrong out there. No. They're going to be with you. And it's all predicated across a BLT sandwich, which Robert and I love sandwiches. So It's awesome.
What a perfect segue, man. I don't even think I could have pulled that one off. That's
At
good.
The end of the show, I'm going to make sure we send you either a sweatshirt or a t-shirt that says this.
Please, 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 please. I love that saying. I really, really, really do. And, yeah, it's like people all the time, when people call me and try to pitch me on another company, right? I always tell them that they'll tell me about the product, and they'll tell me about the owners, and they'll tell me about, their outrageous compensation plan. And after they get all done, I go, I'm really sorry you didn't hit my hot button.
Yeah.
And they go, what do you mean? And I go, I love people.
Yeah.
Not once did you ever say that this was a people business?
Oops. You can remember.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with you, Tom. What I want for myself is what I want for everybody else. I really, truly do. And if you go out of your way to make sure that people are happy and they earn income, they like to follow you, whatever you go. So, hey, yeah. John, nice to see you, brother.
Good old John Fogg, John Milton Fogg. He doesn't like to be called Milton Fogg anymore. He's stuck to the Fogg, but I can't help it. It's such a great thing to say, John Milton Fogg. So I don't understand that, but
you can't change your name.
No. This isn't the witness protection program. So
he could change it for the new people, but he ain't going to change his name for us. We love him the way he is.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. So Robert, you and I have had a few conversations over the year.
Yes.
And every time I talk to you about the owner of your company, Joshua Zweigel. Yeah. And I always ask you how that guy's treating you. And what I love out of your mouth is you are glowing in the way that Josh treats you. I
Yeah.
mean, you love him. He will go to the river with you, and it is unbelievable. And what that transcends to is that Robert will do the same thing for his leaders.
Yeah.
And you can't find Josh. I mean, I've asked Josh to come on this show 20 times. He wants the attention on Robert. Ask Robert to come on the show. Oh, no, I want you to have X, Y, and Z come
Yeah.
on. You guys are attention diverters, which brings more attention upon yourself, right?
Yeah, it's again, I think that people, when I was talking to your son, Adrian, it's really amazing to me that even when it comes to a spiritual life, I tell people I'm not a theologian or I don't got any degree, but man, do I know the basics. And when you just focus on the basics, it's like everything that you want in life, that my title, that Michelle was talking about. And I just said the game of life. It's just that most people don't realize that anything you want in your life, you just got to use, sow, and reap. You just got to. So if you want more praise and recognition, then give people praise and recognition. If you want anything in life, love, you want security, anything, all you got to do is consistently give it, and it'll come back. I promise you.
If you want, somebody write that down. If you want more recognition, which is all of us needy people, all we have to do is give people more recognition. That is
Amen.
just such a profound, simple statement that carries so much weight if you just have the maturity to grasp it. But what we're all doing is trying to put the spotlight on ourselves. And especially in network marketing, your leaders resent you getting all the attention.
Yeah.
And they know they're working their asses off and buying that big house for you. Give them the credit, right, Robert?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the things that's very funny is if you know people that know that, it's like if Tom and I have ever been like at the AMNP and we're there, it's funny to see two guys that understand, or even a woman that understands this, because as soon as someone comes up to meet you, they're better at introducing the person that they're with than anything they have to say about themselves. And then when they do that and do that sincerely, it comes right back. It's like it, and I pray to God that that never becomes comfortable for me.
Yeah.
That when someone's introducing me, I'm going like, I can't wait to meet this guy. This guy sounds like something awesome.
And here's another thing that I know about me is that when people meet me in public, it's kind of a letdown. So
Yeah.
the image is always, the legend's bigger than the man, always. Maybe not
Always.
bigger, but because I'm pretty big. But at the end of the day, so I know they're going, oh man, I thought this guy was going to be, something, not this. But,
Right.
And it's easier for me to foist attention on everybody because I don't have people looking at me for my flaws as much as anything else, right?
Yeah. It's I think that all of us, before I understood the simplicity of the game of life and, got the basics, I was doing it all backwards. I think that's pretty funny, Tom and Adrian, when you really think that most of the stuff that we learn in life or we're programmed through school, hanging around, people and stuff is usually just the opposite of what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, if you can really look at life and they're going, well, this is what you need to do to be happy and successful. It's usually the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So how do you tell people that feel like they're programmed? And it's funny when kids go through, or young men, young women go through their 20s when they know everything. And if you don't believe them, just ask them, and they're like, hey, I got this all figured out. And I'm still cracking up today because there's so many people out there that are anti everything. That the biggest speech that I've been having with people with talking about the game of life is I see the world split into two people, and you can hear their voice where their head is as soon as they start talking. And they're either for something or they're against something.
Yeah.
And I just want to be around people that are for something. You know what I mean? So you got these people that are, every time they open their mouth, they're against something. And so I met this person that really is on Reddit. He's got a pretty good sized YouTube channel, and he's just totally anti-entrepreneur, anti-affiliate marketing, anti-network marketing, and all of this stuff, right? So I reached out to him and I said, I just have one question. What do you do? What do you tell a person that was an auto mechanic that all of a sudden couldn't support to take care of his family because he had a van almost amputate his leg? And he basically raised his hand and said, God, if you're there, please help me. And you get introduced to a person that changes your life, helps you help millions of people and make millions of dollars and help them make millions. I go, I don't know how to change my story. I go, I go, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to say? And then I said the perfect one, Tom, you'd love me for this, is I said to him, it almost sounds like you're so against something that you probably don't believe in Jesus either. And he comes back and he goes, I don't believe. And I go, well, one day I hope you do. I just said, hey, on your deathbed, I just hope that you go, well, what if this is true?
They have to rethink this. As I get older, I'm really doing a lot of rethinking right now at age 74. I was watching that Peter Attia talk about at age 75, we really start falling off the cliff and we better get ready to die. And I'm saying, everybody's thinking about lifting more barbells, and I'm thinking about praying more. I mean, I got a lot of making up to do.
Yeah, so, cool. Yeah, it's really funny. When I ask people if they know, this is sort of a challenging thing, Tom, that I'll bring up. I was talking to your son about this. You know, when you're talking about any kind of sport or even acting or music, it's like everyone could get into a pretty good debate to say, well, you know, who is the greatest of all time when it comes to football? Who's the greatest of all time when it comes to basketball? And you usually get like only 2 or 3 names that pop up. And then you got this little, you know, debate going on of, well, are we doing points or are we doing the most championships? Yeah. It's like, it's pretty easy to figure it out. And what I said to your son, the thing that cracks me up in the last couple of years since I've talked to you guys, is I know we've talked before that, but I say to people, I go, okay, I said this to Josh Dwagel, and I just said to him, I said, so who do you think is the GOAT in network marketing? And he looked at me and he went, wow, that's a very interesting question. And I said, don't you think it's weird that we have this big community of people that love this industry, but no one knows who the GOAT is? I go, that's very weird. That's really weird. And he goes, why do you think that is? And I said, because we don't have a scoreboard. People don't even know where to look for a scoreboard.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I said, but I know 2 guys that were number 1 in a company for 10 years, then started their own company. And, you know, in the 60s, and both of them became billionaires and multi-million-dollar contributors to the Republican Party. And those are Rich and Jay that started American Way.
Yep.
Now called Amway. And I was hearing with Adrian, I was going, isn't it funny that this company has been between $8 and $7 billion every year? And no one wants, no. So these 2 guys not only left a legacy, but they're top distributors that made hundreds of millions.
Oh, yeah.
Left a legacy.
Yeah.
And it's like, no one's really interested in knowing what they're doing.
He's like Garrett. Oh,
it's like, you know, so when I even share this a little bit, Tom, I go, it really shatters their minds. And I go, do you know you could go to Amway.com right now, and 2 of the videos that are their most watched video is one that has the most views. I think the last time I seen over 40 million views it takes them less than a minute with no voice to explain their product line. Okay, so you guys know a lot of people in this industry. Is there anyone that could explain their product line in less than a minute with no words?
That's a
You need a good you need a good pantomime.
no, that's the truth though.
So then their other video is about their opportunity, their business.
Yeah.
Less than a minute, no words.
And they pulled it off.
Oh, they're still pulling it off.
Do you know Ron Henley?
Very well. I did a podcast with him on the history of network marketing.
He's one of the most adorable guys. He's lost six friends in the last couple of weeks, including one today.
Oh.
And it broke his heart that he wasn't going to be on the show to hear you. So shout out to Ron Henley because he's a doll, isn't he?
Yeah, I did a podcast on my YouTube channel, put in Ron Henley.
Yeah.
Me and him talked for hours about that guy's got so much history, going all the way back to Rich Schnackenberger.
Yeah.
And there's I just think that's really interesting because here's the other part, Tom. If you and I, and this happened to me just this weekend, I met a couple from Hungary, Shandor and Judith. These guys never ever heard of football, United States football. And so we're in Ann Arbor, and I'm telling them about the big house that was going to have.
Nobody knows about football in Ann Arbor. What are you talking about?
Yeah, 107,000 people there, and they were like, so even the next day when I met with them, they went there, did their best on Google to try to figure out how the game is played, right? Sure. And it's funny because to us that grew up with football, it's like, what's so hard to understand?
Right.
But like if you were teaching someone for the first time checkers, there is a strategy, but most people don't know what the strategy is.
Yeah.
Right.
And so if you're playing somebody and all of a sudden you get to the end of the line, right? And you say, hey, king me.
Right.
Or queen me.
Yeah.
And they're going, what is this? Well, you're going to put one of your chips on it. Now I get to go backwards and get the rest of your chips.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me about this. Oh, well, I didn't think about it because that's later strategy. And it's like, no, Adrian, I think you're making up the rules as we go.
Right. So, all right, let's use, whether you look at Amway, whatever it is, right? You have this concept of there's a game, there's a game of life, there's a game of entrepreneurship, and there's a right way to play it that you can learn by studying and paying attention to the companies that have had and continue to have success for a long time, and leaders who have and continue to have success. What are the things that what do you think are the essentials that make for playing the game of life well?
Here is the number one key that I probably bring up on every show we've ever had. I'm just like, it's just my default. But when you think about salvation or anything, right? It's our ability to share imagination with another human being on how their life and the people they love could be better if they followed this strategy. Okay. So if Tom really thought about this, because when I met my mentor, all he did to me was ask me what I would like to have done in my life. And I said the basic stuff. I'd like to get my bills paid down, and, I'd like to get caught up on this. And he constantly would say, and how would that make you feel?
There you go.
And I'd go, well, it'd be okay. Okay. And then after a couple little layers, he said to me, what else? And I said, well, when I got hurt, my pride got hurt. I didn't feel like I could support my family like I need to as a male. And so what I did is I told my girlfriend that she should go back to Montana and because she should find someone that can take care of her. And I said, I would love to be able to afford to get a ring, fly back to Montana, and begged this woman to marry me. I said, it's the biggest mistake I've ever made. And he looked at me and he goes, and if she said yes, how would that make you feel? I started crying. And he's going, I promise you, we can make that happen in less than 30 days.
Wow.
And so now all I needed to do is find people that were interested in earning extra money. At the rejection, he put that imagination so deep in my heart and my soul that if people stuttered, I'd sort them. You know what I mean? I go, Adrian, do you know anyone that needs to make some extra money or be interested right now? What is this? It's not for you. And all my mentor told me is I had to get 70 people to watch this VHS tape. And I still to this day don't know how many people I went through. I still don't.
Yeah.
It could have been easily 1,000 people. But I did get 72 people to watch the video. 11 of them got involved, and 6 of them made me a millionaire.
Yeah, there it is.
And so I didn't have to understand anything. I just kept putting people in front of the guy that did a good presentation and a good training.
Sure.
Right. And I even said, man, once I hit like one of the top ranks, people were mad at me because when I started doing testimonials, they would say to me, and I know Tom will relate to this, and they're going, wait a minute, you told me that you're just a mechanic from Montana. And they go, you're very successful. And I go, not in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, you could easily do a presentation. You could easily answer my questions. And I'm going like, I'm not messing this deal up. Like, you want to know the answers to your questions, you go to the videos. I'm not being the expert. I don't want to be the expert.
Right.
And but that's the key thing, Adrian. It's like people want to talk about all the stuff except for putting people in dream mode.
Yeah.
And lately I've been, using songs like some of the great comments from Walt Disney. I know you guys probably heard the story, and I'm probably messing it up a little bit, but he traveled from Florida all across the United States to try to open up what he didn't know the name was Disneyland. Mm-hmm. And investors kept getting smarter as he did it. So he had a rabbit, and the rabbit was called Freddie. And so when he put all these things together, and I think it was in Colorado, the investors were smart this time, and they said, we own your IP, your intellectual property. We own this. And so now all of a sudden that didn't work. So then he goes to California, and he had to create a different character, and he called it Mickey, and it was a mouse. And the whole theory or the whole thing to the story is you can always steal someone's ideas, but you can't steal their thoughts. You can't steal their imagination.
Yeah.
And so without that imagination, it's really, really crazy. So there's a lot of people out there that I see nowadays that they're too busy talking about how great their product is, or how great their comp plan is, or even, Josh would laugh when I say this, how great the owners are and who their stories are. That has nothing to do with a person's imagination. Zero. And if you can get someone emotionally caught up in their imagination, they'll go through walls, man. They're not worried about anything to do. And so the end of that story is, of course, I got the ring and asked Terry to marry me, and she did. And that was over 40 years ago. And the rest is history. I've been with her ever since. And, but it was somebody that was able to engage my imagination.
Yeah.
To look at this. And I remember sometimes people would ask me, well, what's the product? And I said, that has nothing to do with your imagination.
Good boy.
Yeah.
You're from Hardin, Montana?
Excuse me?
What part of Montana?
It's right outside of Billings, and I'm in Yellowstone, Montana. So
how close are you to Hardin? Hardin?
Probably an hour and a half.
All right, good. There was a guy named Jake Jabs. Have you ever heard of him?
No, was he a boxer?
No, he owned American Furniture Warehouse, and he was Jake Chabbs. That's hilarious. Look how funny.
That would have been a great name.
Think how fun. Look at that is awesome. It took me about 5 minutes to get the joke because I'm
No, you were quick.
what I'm talking about. Yeah. Too cute. Yeah.
Andrew, how are you, brother?
Andrew Logan, holy mackerel, his book. He was on here. He wrote it. Now he's got his book all updated, and we have to bring him back. But
Andrew's a super, super guy. I love him.
So here's what's happened to me. I've been around the profession about as long as you, been playing it pretty big the entire time.
Yeah.
Thinking I know what I'm talking about, and watching this technology just wipe me out the whole way. And all of a sudden, my offspring, just like yours, you got a bright kid doing all your IP and explaining it to you. So you get credit for it, just like me. But it takes both. And what you have to remember, everybody, is use high tech as a tool to get more high touch, right?
High tech, high touch. Well, one of the things is my son said this. You'll really like this. I know Adrian will big time. It's like my wife has had a couple of conversations with my sons going, God forbid Robert's not here anymore. And my middle son that does everything with AI, he's going, Dad's going to be just like Elvis and Michael Jackson. He's going to make more money for us dead than alive.
That's the truth too. Same with him.
Because he's got me, doing stuff in different languages. He's got me doing all kinds of stuff. So it's like, man, the character that he created of who I am and my laugh and my energy in life, it's like that AI is going to be going forever.
Man, if I could have an AI that I could press the button and I would hear your laugh, I would pay big money for that, Robert.
It's so, it's one of the things that with technology is people right now, especially the younger people, they have less than an 8-second attention span.
Yeah. And
it is 1,000. Hi, Denise. It is 1,000% about what's in it for me. Yeah. And we grew up in a different time, but these people are like, you got a couple of seconds to tell me why I need to watch the next couple of seconds.
Yeah.
What's really cool is your kid and Adrian taught us about YouTube shorts and 7-second videos and all this stuff. What do you mean? I can't say Tom Chenault in 7 seconds. And he said, then don't. I mean, it's so funny. Yeah, we're just dinosaurs, man. But what's happening is we've been able to turn it into something gigantic by listening to the younger people, and the younger people are listening to the older people, and it's winning because they're finally realizing tech isn't everything. And we're finally realizing touch isn't everything, and we need to get married. And it's that simple, right?
Yeah, when a person finds out and it really comes back to the same thing that I said about when my mentor made me understand that we were doing this together because he wanted me to fulfill my imagination. That's what got me to listen to him for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
Right.
But it's like the newer generation, the younger generation, if they figure out what's in it for them, then they'll spend the time They'll spend the time. They'll learn what they need to do. And it just used to be a lot of what cracks me up again is that how effective Amway is by being able to get their point across. When I show people the opportunity, and I know some people still disagree with me on this, it's fun for me, is that when you watch the opportunity video on Amway on their website, I think it takes less than a millisecond for them to say that we're here to help you make money.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that is how Amway did $7 billion a year. They're looking for people that, hey, why are you buying premium quality products from Walmart and Target and Costco? Why don't you buy them from us? And if you like the products, tell 3 people so you don't have to pay for yours. Yeah. And if you want to do it a little further, you can actually maybe supplement or replace your income. And I know when Tom and I got in years ago, I mean, I wasn't asking anybody if they wanted to make a lot of money. I was asking people if they wanted to make $300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in 1924, that was a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. And the
So,
thing that I think is hilarious today is that, 39 years I've been in the industry. And if I sit down with someone and said, tell me what you would like for a dream income. 39 years, that number is still 10,000 a month.
yeah,
Really.
39 years.
years later. True story.
And it's like, man, if I could make 10 grand a month, because we know the average household makes 54,000. It's sad that Tom and I have been in this industry this long, but people can't dream anymore.
And who would have ever thought that our children were going to, I mean, it's just the best gift from God on the
It is.
planet to
It's
come in
totally
every
is.
day. And it's take your dad to work day. It used to be take my son to work day. Today it's take this doddering old fool to work. And I'll never forget the first time I ever talked to you on the phone. And you said, I'm standing on my balcony, Tom. And I go, yeah, what are you doing? He goes, looking out the window at Kobe Bryant's house way down there, because you lived above him. And that was like the best day of my life. Wow.
Yeah,
True story.
very-
And that's true, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. I don't know if this happened to you. Hi, Brian. Great to see you on here. One of the things when I started in network marketing, it was in Southern California. And when you went to Orange County, California, to meet the Danny Demicalis and, the guys that Jeffer Birdies,
Sure.
was in Sarasota, Florida. But when I went to Orange County, I remember my wife and I going out there, and it's like, man, we need a home in Newport Coast. We want a home in Newport Coast, and we pulled it off. We pulled it off. It was that home was not fair for recruiting. So when a person had to go through a gate, and then they walked in your house and they could see Newport Beach with all the sailboats, and they're like, "You live here?" And I go, "Yeah, that pyramid stuff doesn't work."
You remember that T-shirt you sent me with the pyramid on it? And you said, and it was so funny because at the top of the shirt it says, "You ever hear about that guy at the top?" And then in the other column it said, "Nice to meet you," or something like that. It was you. I mean, he sent me that shirt. I never had the guts to wear it because I didn't feel like
I still say that to people today when they ask what I do. I go, "Have you ever heard of those pyramid things?" And they go, "Yeah." I said, "You ever heard the person at the top makes all the money?" And they go, "I have." And I go, "I'm that guy."
That is so exciting.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it's easier to sort that way.
No question.
Totally easier to sort that way. And like some of the questions that people are getting right now with AI, if you get people that just hate AI, then it's very difficult to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know why people don't do the same thing with network marketing or entrepreneurship. Because the line that I used to use, Tom, years ago, was, you ever think it's today is so different. But I used to say to friends and family, have you ever thought of owning your own business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, not really. It's like, where do you go with that conversation?
Yeah.
Noted. Thank you.
And I still have family and friends after all these years that they're still waiting at the time clock, if there's still one, at 4:45 or 4:50.
And they're still waiting for you to get arrested.
Yeah. Oh, again.
They're all still positive. It's one of those things. And it's just so
Oh, yeah.
crazy. I want to ask you, because I see Brian Carruthers on here, who is the epitome, like you, of being at the absolute top and still working every day, not even missing a beat,
Yeah.
dying through some serious health concerns, because this isn't who they are. This is who they are. This isn't what they do. It's who they are. It's who you are. This is what you do.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
My love for people.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys an imagination. And when I say this, it's just mine. I have no biblical stuff on this whatsoever. But I do know the way to greatness is the service of many. And so when I'm standing in front of my maker, even though I know I've done what I'm supposed to, what if the only thing that's said is, with the years that I gave you, what did you do to deserve to go to the next level? And I just want a million people already up there, Tom, going, let him in. Let that guy in.
There.
And I wanna, while tears are flying down my face, I want to nudge a little bit, and I just want him to say, well done, good and faithful servant.
There you
Well
go.
done.
And you know, I look at the faith that you share with Carruthers. Adrian's got the similar, like, absolutely bleeds his faith out there, and that goes a long way because it gets tough in this business, and you've got to be able to rely on something because your best guy's going to go join XYZ, and
Yes.
it's so easy to get mad at God if you don't have a really strong relationship there. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, my belief is what mostly is backed by scripture, right? So everything that's taken away from me, I'm going to get, 2 to 10-fold back. So one of the craziest meetings I've ever had is, when I was with Equinox, right? And we left NSA and went to Equinox, and I found out that the guy that owned that, he took 60% of my downline and put it front level to my sponsor. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to handle this. And so when we had the first meeting, I just stood up and said, hey, listen, I want to thank you for taking 60% of my group, because I know I believe in God. And instead of having 40,000 people in my group, one day I'm going to have 400,000. And I just told him in front of all the leaders that I thank you for doing this, because I'm just going to tithe what you stole from me. Yep. And I'm going to expect a 100-fold return. Well, then I ended up with 758,000 active people in my group. So it's my belief and faith that if somebody makes a decision to no longer work with me, I just pray for them. I immediately forgive them. I'm not even mad at them. But man, I'm so excited about what's coming my way.
I told you guys, I don't think I'm quite that spiritual yet.
You sound like the conversation with Erica, Kirk, and Donald Trump. Erica's like, hey, I forgive him. That's what I'm supposed to do. And Donald Trump's in the back and go, I'm not there yet.
That's a little bit me, man. I'm going to go get him.
Oh my gosh. Cadillac in the house. Hi, Cadillac. We love you, buddy.
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful thing. And there's days when that comes somewhat naturally and a lot of days when it doesn't, but it's true.
It is.
To be able to embody that is something really special. And
I'll give a gift to everyone. If they go to roberthollis.com, you'll see where it says gifts, GIFTS. If you click there, one of the things that I give as a gift is a person that basically sings all the promises out of the Bible. It's called Washed by the Word. And I know that when things are not going good for me, then I just fill myself with the word, man. I just like, and I can just think of listening to those and immediately start crying. It's like, it's just a instant relief from me, because, my thoughts get me in trouble.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, I can't say that any way that, I'm far from perfect. I'm very flawed. So of course, when I hear someone went to another company without me, I thought I was close enough for them to even tell me that they're going, but they just, next thing you know, they're in another company. I can't say that my first thoughts are very good.
Yeah.
I do know that I just have to put on the full armor, and I just have to immerse myself in scripture, and it just turns it around so fast, so quick. And now I'm thinking about, wow, one day I'm going to have more people that I need to mentor in that moment. So that is one of the saddest things about this industry, is people are in your life for a season, and So you just got to pour into them the most that you can, and then pray for them to hit it when they need to.
Well, we love you. Who do we have next week?
Larry Benet.
Larry Benet, who's an amazing connector, not necessarily in this profession, but one of those guys. The first time I ever met him, he told me, "What do I love?" And I told him what I loved. And he told me about the biggest event in that particular thing I loved that day, probably Taylor Swift, and said, "Do you want to go to a Taylor Swift concert?" And
wow.
He's just that kind of guy. And he's just a connector's connector. And we want him on inside of the fact that I understand, Sue Brenchley, that every one of you have an unbelievably valuable, overlooked asset going for you, which is your Rolodex, or that person that your Rolodex knows that you've been dreaming to meet all your life. Robert Hollis, we cannot thank you enough for coming on the show. You are a beautiful, beautiful man, and you've taught me much. And I'm going to get you, here's my promise to all of you. I'm going to kick Adrian off, and I am going to get Garrett McGrath on one side of me and Robert on the other, and we're going to call it, it's going to be like Laugh-In, the old Saturday Night Live show. It will be unbelievable, and I'll tell these guys things that they can't help but go crazy about, and it'll be funny as heck. It will be an MLM comedy show. These guys actually laugh at my jokes. It will be great. We love you, and thank you so much.
Thank you. I love you guys, and I love what you do for the industry, and I did watch a couple of yours when I get a second. You guys are just true networkers. You really, truly are.
We love this business. We love you. See you later. Everybody,
love you, Denise.
Bye-bye.
See you, Tom. God bless you.